you agree that COVID changed everybody's way of living?
Yes, COVID did change a lot.
That's why people want to work from home. That's why people really want to do these things.
Yeah, absolutely. So, good morning, everyone,
Good
and
morning.
welcome to those of you who showed up. We are grateful that you're here. This is an important topic to talk about, is medical gaslighting, right? And I think everyone has experienced that. But before we go into that, I just wanted to introduce myself and my son, Chad. My name is K-Star.
How would you define medical gaslighting?
Well, I'm going to get into that in a minute after I finish introducing you, and we're going to get into all of it, I promise you. You're going to be well informed, I know. My name is K-Star, and most people know me from a media background. And they also know about 16 years ago, I became sick. And once I became sick, I was thrown into a healthcare system that really didn't care about me. And it was through trial and error, learning, disappointments, being dismissed, all of it, the good, the bad, and the ugly, that I was able to take all those things that I had been through and turn it into something positive by now teaching people how to advocate for themselves in this medical system that we have. I struggle with multiple autoimmune diseases, kidney disease, Alport syndrome, the list goes on. And my son, Chad, and I, he is my caretaker. And we decided, listen, we've been through this, we've been going through this for over 16 years. Let's do something to help other people that's going through the same thing. And that's when we came up with KindRoot Wellness. We focus on people that struggles with chronic illness, and we take it from there. In every step of the journey, we're here for those people. I'm going to turn it over to Chad so he can introduce himself and tell you a little bit about him.
Hello, my name is Chad. I am the son of this wonderful young lady here. Like she said, we've been dealing with, medical issues for 16 years. I've had to watch my mother struggle and in pain and all of that stuff. And I've seen firsthand the gaslighting that could go on with her doctors telling her like, oh, maybe it's just anxiety, maybe it's just this, so that's why we had to come together and be like, this has to change.
Thank you. And how can we change the system? We have to learn from it, right? First, we have to name it. What is medical gaslighting, right? And I have this presentation here on the board. Medical gaslighting, we have to first name it, and we also have to define it. We also have to heal from it. We have to learn, right, how to deal with it. And I think a lot of our people do not know how to do that. And so we're hoping today that you will leave here a lot more informed, okay? And why this conversation is important. This conversation is important because dismissal by a doctor, a clinician, therapist, it doesn't matter who it is, it's rude, right? It's rude. And you feel, when someone dismisses your feelings, something that you're telling them, you feel away. You feel bad, like you did something wrong, right? That maybe you didn't explain yourself right, and so you start to question yourself. When in fact, right, that's not the case, right? And so it can delay care, it shakes your trust, and it makes people doubt themselves. Yes.
Sometimes, when you ask people too many questions, whatever you do, I find they get annoyed, even if you're really right, because they don't get it.
Right.
Yeah, especially your doctor, too. Because when I go to my doctor, I live in Brooklyn. So the thing is this, my doctor only wants me to answer questions that relate to the therefore. He's not a nutritionist. He's not there to give me an education or a medical stuff. But even when I ask him questions about my condition, I I sense he gets in there, but the reason why I don't want to be nasty is I have fears he may throw me out, even on pain. I mean, this is this crazy belief center, but this may come true. This may come
But
real.
can I tell you, this is something that that I think most people, especially when you struggle with chronic illness, you deal with, right? When you go to the doctor, and that is the big fear. You feel like if you speak up, if you speak your mind to the doctor, you have the fear that they will treat you different, right? That they will not give you the care that you're there for, that they will treat you different, right?
They want you to be stupid.
Right, I mean, they do. They want to, they're focused on their agenda and not your agenda. So I'm going to go through this, and I'm going to have a Q&A section so you can ask as many questions and comments and all of that good stuff. So here we have, I know my body. I need you to listen, right? Who knows your body more than you do? The doctors don't. Right. And so I think a part of the problem is that doctors, clinicians make you feel like they know more about your body than you do. Right? And in fact, you are the experts on your body. And nobody should tell you about your body. They can't tell you anything. Right?
Yeah.
So, first for this presentation, name it. What medical gaslighting is and how it sounds. Understand the impact of medical gaslighting. Why dismissals affects health, trust, and confidence. Use your tools. Appointment prep, scripts, and escalation steps. Heal and move forward. Grounding, support, and next visit plan.
So you should share only what you feel comfortable sharing with the doctor. It doesn't have to be, your whole life story, just what's necessary for the doctor to know, right? So they can make their, assessments. We offer support and tools, not medical advice. So we're not, doctors, we're not clinicians. We're just offering you the tools to connect with your doctor. If something feels heavy, you pause, you breathe, and you step away if needed. And for emergency help, you call 911. In the U.S., call or text 988 for crisis support. Medical gaslighting happens when a patient's real symptoms or concerns are dismissed, minimized, blamed on them, or doubted without a fair evaluation. It often leaves the person feeling confused, ashamed, unheard, or like they're crazy. It's very disheartening.
Right? And that looks like dismissed, minimized, and doubted. What it is and what it is not. Right? Medical gaslighting is dismissing symptoms without enough evaluation, blaming everything on stress, weight, or anxiety, interrupting, mocking, or rushing you through your appointment, giving no explanation or no next steps for your situation. It is not always a clinician saying, I'm not sure yet.
Not everyone has the answers.
Not everyone have the answers. And also, we have to keep in mind that doctors don't know everything. And as time goes on, technology is developing, right? So that they're learning more as they go along, but they don't know everything. It is not always needing more time and more tests. If your doctor is telling you we need more time, we need more tests, that's not gaslighting. That's them being honest about your situation and saying we need to do more tests, we need to do more. It is not a respectful disagreement about what should come next. It's okay for you and your doctor to disagree on what should happen next. and then you discuss it, and you get to a common place, and that is what is usually best for you. But it's okay to disagree with your doctor. Reassurance paired with a clear plan. Your doctor should have a clear plan for your medical situation. Yes?
Yeah, but some doctors are very sensitive. I once went to a doctor, I was sick, so he got very angry with me, and I told him how he was very nasty, told me to shut up. And I didn't like it.
Did the doctor tell you, said the doctor told you to shut up?
Yeah, because he thought that I should have some idea how I got my skin rash. But I told him I'm not a dermatologist. Why would that be enough? Why is he breaking my chops?
Right. Well, that we're going to get into that a little bit later on, but that is something that would need to be escalated. That's a situation where you would escalate by filing a complaint, by reporting it, by getting to the next step.
I didn't want to, because
Okay.
my parents told me when I was a kid, if you're going to be doing something, the guy that beat the shit out of you later. No.
I'm sure the doctor would beat you.
No.
No, I understand what you're saying. I
I've
understand.
seen these things happen.
Okay, gotcha. So what can medical gaslighting sound like, right? What does it really sound like? Minimizing. Oh no, that's normal. Everyone gets that.
Psych only framing. It's just anxiety. Just try to relax.
Right? Blame or shame. It's your lifestyle. You need to lose weight.
Withholding answers. Your tests are fine. No plan, no next step.
Dismissing pain. You're overreacting. Don't worry. It shouldn't hurt that bad.
Or rushing. You can't finish before they decide.
Right. So there are different things to medical gaslighting, and I think people experience gaslighting, medical gaslighting, but don't know what it is because they don't know what it sounds like. And so today we're helping people to understand what it sounds like so that you can recognize it and you can do something about it, right? Why does this happen? Usually it's not one thing, it's a layer of different things that happen, right? You have system pressures, short appointments, too many patients, not enough time, your records are spread across different places, you have normal labs that don't always mean no illness, right? And less training on invisible or complicated illnesses.
Also, there's the human factors, biases about gender, race, weight, age, or disability, assuming doctor knows best without actually listening to the patient, jumping to the easiest explanation they could think of instead of actually, diving deeper, or letting a mental health label overshadow symptoms.
Who is more likely, this is the big question, right? Who is more likely to be impacted by medical gaslighting? And when you look, we're going to get into the statistics in a few, but women, girls, especially around pain. Women and girls, anything that has to do with pain, trust and believe you will experience some form of medical gaslighting. People with chronic illness or invisible symptoms. People with mental health diagnosis. People with larger bodies, right? People who are on the heavier side. And people of color and other marginalized groups. Those are the people that are most impacted by medical gaslighting. And why does it matter? Dismissal can change outcome and it can also change your confidence, right? The health impact. It delays diagnosis. It misses different conditions that you may have. Poor pain control. Less follow through because you feel defeated. Avoiding care until it gets so bad that you're actually in crisis.
It also affects the mind and the trust aspect, because you can develop anxiety before appointments, feel shame or self-doubt, feeling isolated or like it's too much, you're doing too much, stress and hypervigilance, and loss of trust in healthcare, which that shouldn't be. You should be able to trust your healthcare professionals to take care of you.
So when it comes to medical gaslighting, we talk about the impact. And at the foremost, the front of all of that are women, especially women of color, that goes through and experience medical gaslighting on a regular basis. 34% of Black women who use the healthcare in the past 3 years, and by the way, this number has increased significantly in the last year, say that a negative experience led to worse health, being less likely to seek care, and are switching providers. That includes 27% who switch providers, 19% who become less likely to seek care, and 13% who says the experience results in worse health, right? And one of the things that we always have to take in mind, that medical gaslighting and how the system treats you depends also on your economic status, right? Your race, your gender, all of those things play a part in how you receive care. 20% of women report mistreatment during pregnancy and delivery, right? There are women that are dying during and after childbirth because they are not receiving the proper care. Because one, there is this thing, they don't think that people of color feel as much pain, right? And I had a doctor tell me this once, and was honest about her feelings and what she learned after becoming a doctor in the system, and had to change her outlook on how she treats her parents because of this information that she learned. Mistreatment was even higher among Black women, 30%, Hispanic women, 29%, and multiracial women, 27%. Black women are 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes than white women.
Name it without spiraling. So observe what happened, what was said, what was not done. Label, name the pattern, minimizing, blaming, rushing, dismissing pain. And decide. Ask for clarity, request evaluation, bring support, or seek another opinion.
And that seek another opinion, I think a lot of people are afraid to, once they have a doctor, people seem to be afraid of asking, can I get a second opinion? If they should get a second opinion. I am all for a second opinion, a third opinion, and a fourth opinion if I need it. Yes, what's your question?
Maybe I'm wrong, but some people don't want to change their doctor because they're afraid that they don't want, may not take their insurance, they don't want to pay it out. I know a person who was a KindRoot who didn't want to go to the doctor, they died because they were losing blood. Now that's not a reason not to change your doctor. If your life is at stake,
right. So you're absolutely right. So his statement was that a lot of people are afraid because of insurance concerns. If they have to pay out of pocket, maybe the doctor won't take their insurance. But now we're in 2026. All of that is online, and I know that not everyone understands the online portals and all of those things. But you can actually call your insurance company, and they will give you a list of doctors within network that will take your insurance, so you don't have to worry about whether this new doctor will take your insurance, if they will cover it. Call your insurance provider and they will give you the right information. So one of the things that we need to do, and I had to learn the hard way, is prepare before you walk in. I am someone someone that documents. I had to learn to document everything, right? Bring this, even if it's on your phone, write it in your notes on your phone. Everybody have a cell phone. Text it to yourself, something, right? Your symptoms, when they started and how often, what helps and what makes it worse. Your current medications and supplements, include the supplements. Because if you're taking vitamins, certain vitamins will interact with certain medications. So you want to give your doctor a complete overall view of everything that you're taking, right? Past diagnosis, surgeries, your key histories, your top 3 questions for your doctor, your goal for that particular visit, right? Those are the things that you want to take with you. Small power moves during that visit, right? Lead with your own goal, right? Today, I need help understanding why this keeps happening, right? I want to find out from my doctor. When I go to the doctor, these are the moves you want to make. First, I really need to understand why this keeps happening. Next, ask for plain language. Doctors sometimes speak in medical language that we don't understand. Ask, it's okay for you to say to your doctor, listen, can you please explain that so that I can understand in plain language so that I can understand? And you know what I mean? So don't be afraid of saying that. They won't feel any way. It's better if you understand what they're saying versus you sitting there and taking in this information that you really don't understand, right? Hand over your questions. These are the 3 things I need answers before I leave. 1 minute, right? And confirm the plan. What's the next step if things get worse? What's the next step that's going to happen? These are things that you need to do during your visit, right? And so when we go to the doctor, I think a lot of people are just scared. They feel intimidated by these doctors. They have a medical degree. They know so much. Well, you know so much. You know your body, right? And it's important for you to know what is going on with your body. Medical gaslighting is a thing, right? You guys can have a seat when we're going to take a break and then we're going to do breakfast. So when you go to your visit, clarity and slowing down. Can you explain your reasoning for why you think this is happening, right? What diagnosis are you ruling out, right? Because when you go to your doctor and you tell your doctor something is happening, you want to know what they're ruling out. And usually, when you go to the doctor, they try to rule out the bad stuff first, right? They try to rule out the big stuff, the things that they're like, okay, we need to rule this out. But you need to know, because a lot of the times they're not telling you, but you need to ask those questions. What would make you more concerned about what's going on with me? And can you pause? I want to make sure you heard what I am saying. As the patient, you want to make sure that your doctor, your clinician, is hearing you and not just sitting there, typing. And it's okay, 1 minute, you can say, can we pause for a minute? And you can ask them questions at that time. Request and document. I'd like an evaluation for blank because blank. Because I am seeing this, can you do an evaluation for that? If you are not testing today, what's the plan? If you're not going to do blood tests, urine tests, any kind of test, what's the plan, right? And document that you requested that test or evaluation and why it was declined, right? And who should I contact if your symptoms get worse? Now we have My Connect, My Charts, and most doctors, from what I've experienced, well, my doctor is exceptional because she will get back to me in like minutes sometimes. But most doctors will get back to you within 24 to 48 hours of you contacting them through one of the portals. Or just call the office. Just call the office and say, hey, can I leave a message for my doctor? Because this is going on and I would love for someone to give me a call back. If what you tell them on the phone is serious enough, someone will call you back right away. They will call you back. You just have to take the step, pick up the phone, and make that call, right? Yes?
I think it's mental. That if you ask people too many questions, they can throw you out.
You're in the office because you're asking too many questions.
Sure.
You're supposed, I'm so positive. And if you get thrown out of your doctor's office because you think you're asking too many questions, then that needs to be escalated to someone higher. Yes. One second. Yes.
And when a doctor, speaking on what you're saying,
How would you change the situation?
oh, excuse me, sir.
Hold on. Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah, you're from Brooklyn. I'm from South Bronx.
Okay. It's okay.
Yes, to answer your question, lady, yes, when the doctor does that, he's violating someone's 14th Amendment constitutional right of due process, equal due process of the law.
Well, how could I change the situation? My parents never told me. I didn't listen.
Well, listen.
Doesn't matter where you are. I always listen to my doctors. I have fears.
Listen, we all want, and this is one of the problems, right? You said that you were never taught. You were taught to always listen to your doctors, do what your doctor says. I'm not telling you not to listen to your doctor. I'm telling you that it's okay to disagree with your doctor respectfully. It's okay to question your doctor. It is okay to ask for evaluation. It is okay to ask your doctor, how are you going to treat me? How are you going to help me? It is their job. Even if they don't understand at the moment, it is their job to take the necessary steps to find out. And sometimes you may not get a full diagnosis. I am proof of that. You may not get a full diagnosis because they don't know everything. And sometimes what you have do not fit in that little box that they have created of different illnesses. It doesn't fit in the box, right? And so what I am telling you is that as a patient, you cannot be afraid, and you should not feel anxiety and afraid of going to your doctor, speaking to your doctor, questioning your doctor, okay? You shouldn't feel that way, and if you do, then it's time for you to change your doctor.
But the only thing is you don't know how good the next.
You don't know how good your next doctor is, and it's a chance that we take. And I'll tell you, I have a team, I think, of 13 doctors I have on my team. And it was through trial and error, and some of them I still question to this day, right? But it was trial and error in finding the right primary care, one, and the right specialist that fit my situation and who I feel comfortable with in sharing what I'm going through and knowing, okay, this doctor seems like they're going to help me, right? Because not every doctor is going to make you feel comfortable. And it's okay to change. It doesn't matter if it's a primary care, a specialist, your therapist, your physical therapist, it does not matter. You should not be afraid of changing. And guess what? They don't feel offended. They don't feel offended. They have plenty of patience, right? They don't, yeah.
If you feel like you're still not being heard, you can always ask for a second opinion inside or outside of practice. Request a different clinician. Use a patient portal to summarize symptoms and ask for the plan in writing. Bring an advocate. Usually my mother brings me. Ask for patient relations, a clinic manager. For urgent symptoms, go to urgent care or the emergency department.
Right.
Remember to trust your instincts. You know what your body's telling you, so trust it, go.
And for, after this, we're going to take a short break. Wait, let me see. we only have a couple more slides, and we'll take a break and we'll have some breakfast, okay?
Yeah.
So, I can see that. For caregivers and support people, right? You can advocate. If you have a child, a parent, a lot of people, including my son, they're now taking care of their parents, right? And if you have someone you're taking care of, right, you want to make sure that you advocate for them without taking over the visit, right? Before the visit, ask, what do you want from me today? How can I help you on the visit today? Help make a one-page prep sheet for that appointment. Agree on a signal. This is important because I've had to do this. Agree on a signal if you feel overwhelmed. It could be scratching your nose. It could be, it could be just, tap on the shoulder. It could be, if you feel overwhelmed, come up with a plan and have a signal to say, listen, I'm feeling overwhelmed, so that the person, your support person, can then step in, right? And take over and maybe guide you through and maybe talk to the doctor on your behalf because you're now overwhelmed, right? During and after the visit, reflect on key symptoms clearly. Ask for the plan and next steps. What's going to happen now? What's the plan? What's going to happen from here on out? Take notes, confirm medications. Afterwards, validate feelings and help choose the next step. Validating feelings. It's okay for you to feel angry after that visit. It's okay for you to feel overwhelmed. It's okay for you not to understand. I'm here to help you. It's okay. Whatever you're feeling, it's okay, right? Avoid saying, maybe it's not that bad. We don't want to say that. Yes?
Yes. When you go to the doctors, they ask you to fill out a form as the Privacy Act or whatever it says.
Yes.
So how do you feel about filling out that form?
Well, when you go to the doctor and you're filling out the forms, depending on the forms, because now when you go to the doctor, they also, most doctor's office, they have a form where they're asking you personal information. If you feel depressed, if you feel anxiety, if you have enough food at home, if you feel like you're being threatened, they have that questionnaire, right? That's when I'm sitting in the office, that's the first questionnaire that I get.
Well, what I was talking about, what I was trying to say is like, when you go in there and you fill out these Privacy Act papers and all this stuff. And
Right, the Privacy Act.
They start looking at your paperwork. See, the only reason why I don't like to fill that out, because to me it's like a conflict of interest, because you're going to go into my medical records and you're going to see something else. I'm trying to find out if you can find out what's wrong with me. Let me know.
But can I tell you, now, by you signing that paper and giving them permission to look at your medical information, you're helping them, right? You are helping them to figure out what's going on, because you can't figure out what's going on without a complete overall picture, right? One of my problems was that my health situation is very complicated. So what I did, I made sure that all my doctors were from the same healthcare system, because I didn't want my records here and there and over there, so that when I go to a doctor, they all have the same information, right? And you can't help someone if you don't have all the pieces. And if they can't see your medical records, even if it's from another hospital, if they can't see it, one, that means that they have to do more testing that you probably already did, right? You already did it someplace, you're gonna do more testing because they need to know, because they don't know. If you don't give them consent to see what's already there, they're gonna have to start from scratch. What does that do? It delays the process. It delays you getting the help you need. It delays you getting a proper diagnosis. And it may seem like, we all don't trust the government or the hospital system, and we don't want them in our information. But at the same time, when it comes to your health, that part is critical, and I learned the hard way, right? I was in a situation where when I first got sick, my information was at 2 different locations, and at that time, everything wasn't connected, right? And they kept asking me, and I would just give them, whatever. And I did have to sign that paper so they could get that information. And when they got the information, my care changed. It changed because now they had the missing pieces that they put together.
See, sometimes I feel like that's a conflict of interest because this doctor is looking at what this other doctor said, now he's going to come out and tell me it's the same diagnosis, and I know it's not the same thing.
No, and now that is upon you to advocate for yourself, because what's in your chart at another doctor's office shouldn't, and what the doctor thinks, about your diagnosis should have no real impact on your diagnosis now. The only thing it should do is give them additional information that can help you. Medical gaslighting is real, and we have to take accountability for the information that we give our clinicians so that they can help us. It's not a conflict of interest. They're going to go through the notes, and a lot of times, sometimes, and I've experienced this in my own situation, what the doctor writes in your chart from that other doctor's office, this new doctor is going to read it, and you're going to be like, I don't think so. Well, you know what? I see that they didn't do this test, and if it's a good doctor, what they will do is discuss what they found, what was in your chart at the other doctor's office, and tell you and explain to you what they're going to do to help you going forward, and how that information helped them. Yes?
In other words, if you go to a new doctor, he's supposed to give you the same evaluation as before.
Right, right.
He's not supposed to say...
There should be no bias. There should be no bias for you going to another doctor. There should be no previous bias from your chart from that doctor from before. It's supposed to help you. Your doctors are supposed to help you get a diagnosis. And so the more information they have, the better they can actually help you. So we just have, so how do we get past the dismissal, the medical gaslighting? How do we get past that? How do we get past that, right? First, we have to validate how we feel. Angry, sad, embarrassed, afraid of appointments, unsure of yourself. Like, maybe it's me. I have felt all of these and more. I have left appointments in tears. My son can tell you, in tears. And I get in the car, and he's like, what happened? And I'm like, I can't talk right now. Like, I'm angry, I'm hurt, I'm embarrassed. All wrapped up in one. And guess what? We also, unless we name it, we validate those feelings, we're not going to heal from it so that we can help ourselves, right? So, anyone have any questions? No other questions? Oh yes, Samantha, you have a question? What's your question?
Well, I can talk first.
Okay, she can. Yes, ma'am.
The question is,
should you curse out your doctor? No. No. The question is, should you curse out your doctor? No.
Samantha also has a complex medical history as well.
Yes.
And she was born, for the people in the room, she was born extremely premature. She was born at 25 weeks. And I've had to advocate for her since the day that she's been here on earth.
Yeah.
She has a lot of doctors. I would say her team consists of about 10 to 12 doctors, and then she has therapists also. So having to always advocate for her is very, very important. to make sure she gets the best care.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone else have any questions over here? And
What advice?
okay, no, go ahead.
What advice would you give to teenagers and young adults who are beginning to maybe go to their own appointments and maybe feel like they're not being heard? What advice would you give to young adults and teenagers who are starting to their own appointments?
That's a great question. The question was, what advice would you give to teenagers and young adults who are just starting to go to their appointments on their own, right? And my first advice would be to go prepared. Know your history, right? And as a teenager, young adults, you may have to ask your parents, sit down with your parents and get some information. Make sure that you go prepared. And if you feel uncomfortable, go with a support person. It's okay to still bring your parent, okay? I'm that parent that you're 35 and I'm like, you want me to come with you? Okay? I am that parent and it's okay, especially when you're a teenager and a young adult, you're just coming into your own. It's okay to bring a support person until you get the hang of it. Because then once you hear how that support person, the questions they're asking, how they're talking to the doctors, you'll develop your own system of dealing with the doctors. Be patient with yourself, give yourself grace, right? Because you're young and you don't know everything. And don't be afraid to ask questions. There's no stupid questions. Ask the doctors questions. And if you feel unsure, question and more questions. Yes. Anyone else?
See, when I went to the doctor, right? I'm good. When I went to the doctor, and years ago I had epilepsy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I would go to these different doctors. They would put me on medications, Serotonin, Tegretol, phenobarbital, all that stuff.
A lot of medication.
So every time I go to the doctors, I'm getting the same thing. They're telling me the same stuff. And my mom was taking me all the time, so when I got to go on my own, so I go to the doctor, and she said, what you here for today? I said, I want me to find out. You tell me. You know, so we're going through this thing, and then the medications, every time, it was up in the medication, below the doses, bringing them up, bringing it back down. Because I was still having a seizure.
Mm-hmm.
So I got tired of going back and forth, and the doctor tell me the same thing. He looked at the report, oh, here, just take this. No. So that's how I felt. What I did, I took my medicine. I'm not telling anybody else to do that, but I took my medicine and weaned myself off the phenobarbital and all that
Yeah.
stuff. To this day, knock on wood somewhere, I haven't had a seizure, epilepsy. Nothing.
That's a great
Okay.
testament.
So what I did, I took myself off.
Yeah.
And thank God I did it, because I'll still be on it, and it's a barbiturate.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
not
That's
good for
strong
you.
medication, yeah.
So this is what I learned about my own.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, yo, that's why I say it's so conflict of interest when these guys go and look at the reports, because you're not telling me nothing. You're telling me the same thing this guy just told me every time I go. And I'm like, wait a minute, so I do my own thing.
And this is the thing, right? As a patient, especially when you're struggling with chronic illness, it becomes just frustrating because you keep hearing the same things over and over and you feel like you're not getting the answers that you're looking for, right? And you decided to take your health into your hands, right? And this is not for everyone. Everybody's situation is different. And I've, over the years, gotten to the place where, I'm on, I think, like 16 different medications, and I've learned how to navigate the medication without jeopardizing my health, right? And I think it depends on the person. And if you go to your doctor and you're saying, okay, I'm on some heavy medication, like, is there an alternative? One, right? Is it possible to reduce the medication or start weaning me off and see what happens? Because a lot of doctors are afraid to wean you off of a medication and then something happens and then they feel like, okay, they could be to blame for what happens to you. And that's why a lot of them will not do that, or they are very timid about weaning you off, especially when you have something that is hard, right? Epilepsy is something that, I mean, you know, God bless you, you're doing well, looking well, and thank God you took your health into your own hands. You know, it depends on what the illness is, but you decided to take a chance on yourself, right?
Yes, and when I felt like it was coming on, I could tell.
Yeah.
And a lot of people still can't tell the day they get ready to have one or not.
Yeah.
But what I would do, I would just go back to my medicine,
Yeah.
take that, and I'll take maybe half of one.
Yeah.
And then once I feel it,
You've learned what works for your body.
right.
And that's how you're living, and that's okay. What I do the same, what I do, I'll tell my doctor. And my doctor gets frustrated with me all the time. I'm gonna tell you, God bless her. But I'll say to her, listen, you know, with all the things that I do, like if I take this medication, like I can't get out of bed. I'm like a zombie, like I'm not living.
Right.
I can't function like this. And so I have a really great doctor, and so we will go over ways that I can maybe switch up my medication, or maybe the different days or whatever works for me, and we'll try different things until it works. And sometimes, to be honest, I think all of us do this, we skip our medications, and we're not supposed to, but I always tell my doctor when I skip my medication, or if I have something to do that I feel like I'm not going to, there's certain medications that I don't play with though. My blood thinner, don't play with. There's certain medications I'm not going to play with. But there are other ones that you can play around with, but I also always inform my doctors, and that's why she gets frustrated with me. Yes.
Two questions.
Yes.
What is epilepsy?
It's a brain disorder. It's something in your brain where it's like electric.
Is it like a brain tumor?
No. A brain tumor is different. A brain tumor is a mass that's growing on the brain.
So in other words, you can't avoid getting the brain, getting epilepsy. It's unavoidable.
Well, it depends on how you get it, what caused it. You know,
Right.
I fell and hit my head, so.
Okay.
It's like a concussion.
Oh, no,
Like
way beyond
that,
concussion.
Oh,
Way worse.
Way worse than that.
Way
Way
worse.
worse than that.
Yes. It's a life-altering diagnosis, right? And you're handling that well. I mean, you're doing great. Question.
When it comes to like advocating for yourself as a doctor, it's like, do you have any suggestions for organizing? Do you have any suggestions when it comes to organizing your symptoms and being able to advocate for yourself with your doctor? Do you have any like advice for organization or apps or anything like that? That would be good for documenting your symptoms to share with your doctor?
Great question. So when you struggle with chronic illness, or you're a caregiver of someone who goes to the doctor on a regular basis, organization is critical in documenting your symptoms, your flare-ups, your medication, all of that stuff. And thank you for that question, because KindRoot Wellness, we do have a wellness app that you can use. It's a daily companion for people with chronic illness. You can track your symptoms. You can, I'm going to go out of this for 1 second. Can you just click out of that and go to, yeah. So the app actually is your guide for the day. When you get on the app, it says, hey, it's, welcome Kay, how are you feeling today? And you click on, right, so welcome to KindRoot. And and it will tell you, and what? I'm so sorry. As you can see, you'll see, it says choose a mood from the list. All right, I'm grateful today, right? And how much energy do I have today? Manageable, okay, next. And I have some pain today, and next. And right here, you can document in the app what you're feeling. If you just want to write something, say, you know what, today's a good day, but such and such. You can put it in there and you go to next. And you save your check-in, because as you save your check-in, these are things that you can actually export and take to your doctor for your appointment. Now, we have journaling on here where you can either journal via writing, texting on your phone, or you can use the audio journal, where if you don't feel well today, you can record instead of writing. You can, we have a checklist on here, when, especially for people who are in the throes of depression, brushing your teeth is hard, right? Taking a shower is hard. So your daily maintenance, my son and I came up with this app, and he was the one that suggested putting this maintenance list together, because he says, Mom, and he does struggle with depression, and he said, Mom, just the basic things of making your bed, just brushing your teeth feels like you're climbing a mountain. And so we added the daily maintenance, and as you check off from your list, you have a progress tracker, and as you fill this up, you have a garden that blooms, right? And it kind of reassures you and gives you something like wonderful to look forward to. You have, here you have your support circle, where you can add people to your circle. You can add family members, friends, and say you create your circle with maybe 4 or 5 people, right? They can also, here you say your status. You can change your status to okay for visitors, low energy, text only today, I'm not up to talking, or resting, no contact, right? Then you have over here, how can you support me? Your support team, well, you can click on whichever one you need. Today, I need emotional support. Today, maybe it's, some errands, and they will see it. The people in your circle will see that and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to be around today. What kind of errands do you need run? I can take care of that for you. And maybe somebody else will say, hey, you know what, I'm around all day, so maybe I can do the laundry for you, or maybe I can pick up some food. On here, you also can order Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash for the person, right? You can request all those things. Maybe you were supposed to take someone to the doctor and you can't make it. You can order them a ride, right through here. You can add your wish list, right? You can add your Target, Walmart, and Amazon wish list on here, that people can get stuff for you and it will come directly to your home. And the goal is also to have clinicians on this app, so that if you're in crisis, right, and you go on the app and your clinicians that are available, and you can say, hey, this is what is happening today. Is there anyone that can help me? And a clinician, a doctor, a therapist can reach out to you and say, hey, I'm here. How can I help you? So those are the things. This app will be in the App Store on Apple and the Google Store in the next 2 weeks. But we have business cards that we'll pass out that you can go on the website. We have events in the community that are free for the community, that we will talk to you about your health, how to advocate for your health if you need help with a doctor's visit, whatever help you need. If we can't help you, we'll provide the resources that will help you. Yes?
Do you do events all over, just Westchester?
Well, right now in Westchester, but if we're called, we do wherever we are needed.
Even Queens, Manhattan?
Even Queens, Manhattan, yes.
Even
We go where we're
anywhere.
yes, we go where we're needed.
Oh,
If we see a need, or if a medical group say, hey, I would love for you to come and talk, or support group, we're there. We show up. So that's it. If no one else has any questions, we have some breakfast, some pastries, we have coffee, and orange juice, apple juice, and some pastries. Help yourself. And my son and I will be around if you have any questions. We're here to answer. And thank you for coming.
Thank you so much. Appreciate all of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you say?